Good afternoon and welcome to News This Week. News This Week is brought to you by News and Current Affairs Department, and it is a recap of some of our major reports that came your way during the week. I'm Ogali Mafro. You're welcome. The administration of Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa as governor of Delta State yesterday clocked 5 years. DRTV Warri Government House Asaba correspondent Mariam Wenke report that to commemorate the anniversary, an interdenominational Thanksgiving service was held at the Government House Chapel, Asaba. The report is presented from our studio.
The Thanksgiving service kicked off with a dance offering to God by Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, his wife Dame Edith Okowa, the state deputy governor Dikin Kingsley Utwaro, and other guests. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa attributed the success recorded by his administration to God's intervention and divine grace. Governor Okowa said the Thanksgiving was apt because God made it possible for him to be governor in 2019 despite all odds to malign him and push him out of office. The governor revealed that he was gladdened by the fact that despite coronavirus pandemic, worship to God could still hold with observance of the required protocols, stating that May 29 will continue to be a day of thanksgiving in the life of his administration. The governor said COVID-19 was not only about the health of the masses, but its negative effects on the economy, leading to a fall in the price of oil in the world economy. He reiterated that the Operation Delta Hawk was aimed at addressing security challenges and sued for the support of all in making the state peaceful and development-oriented. Governor Okowa said he was committed to putting God first as God has cure for all problems confronting mankind.
As we celebrate our first year, the end of the first year of the second term of the 5th year in office, we give God glory for their lives. It is necessary that we continue to praise the name of the Lord our God. The Lord promised us in Exodus 14 verse 14, and we shall hold our peace. And we know that in the last 5 years, the Lord has continued to fight for us.
The Assistant Chaplain Government House Chapel, Pastor Matthew Ezedom, in a sermon titled, I Know My Redeemer Liveth, said Delta State Government has reason to celebrate because of God's divine grace upon the state in the last 5 years, irrespective of the challenges. Pastor Ezodom said despite the present situation in the world, God is still alive and is still in charge of everything, hence the need for all to take him as their Lord and Savior. He called on all to fear God and reverence him, trust in him and wait for him.
My brothers and my sisters, God is the one protecting you. For these 5 years, God has kept this government. For these 5 years, God has kept our governor alive, the deputy alive.
Some top government officials attended the Thanksgiving service.
The Delta State government says support from corporate bodies would continue to be well appreciated as the state fights the dreaded COVID-19. The secretary to the state government, Mr. Shedu Ebia, stated this while receiving vehicles and medical equipment donated by the NNPC Chevron joint venture in support of the fight against COVID-19. DRTV News correspondent Joshua Okwanefe was there.
Donated to the state government were 3 18-seater buses, which the chairman of Chevron Nigeria Limited, Mr. Jeff Ewing, represented by Mr. Sam Daibu, Area Manager Policy, Government and Public Affairs, urged to be deployed for contact tracing to curb community spread of the coronavirus in the states. Other medical items donated were ventilators, drugs, and medical consumables, essentials in the treatment of confirmed cases and testing of suspected carriers of the virus.
And strategic support to the coordinated efforts of government in the fight to defeat the COVID-19 pandemic in our country by handling its spread and eliminating infections of citizens. Chevron companies in Nigeria has contributed significantly to the equipment that will be handed over today. We're handing over 1 ambulance plus ventilator, test kits, personal protective equipment, and medical consumables. These are just part of the overall contribution we have committed to making to ensure COVID-19 is managed in the state.
The secretary to the state government, Mr. Chiedu, while assuring that the equipment will be well utilized, thanked the oil-bearing firm for coming to the aid of the state at this time of need. He called for more support to enable the state curtail the spread of the virus and effectively manage COVID-19 patients towards gaining freedom from this pandemic soon.
We would like to thank the NNPC Chevron joint venture for supporting us and partnering with us in the fight against COVID-19. No doubt these have been very trying times for everyone, because dealing with a novel virus means that you learn every day. But we want to assure everyone that we'll continue to put in our best and continue to do our best to ensure that we work towards containing the virus, the spread of the virus, and also in the treatment and management of confirmed cases that we have here in Delta State.
Top government functionaries, including the State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Charles Anyagu, attended the ceremony.
State government and his Anambra state counterpart have agreed to ease both vehicular and human traffic on the River Niger Bridge occasioned by the interstate lockdown earlier by the federal government. Government House Asaba correspondent Miriam Mwike reports that the decision to ease traffic on the bridge was reached during a joint meeting between the Secretary to the Delta State Government, Mr. Chiedu, and his Anambra State counterpart, Professor Solomon Chukwubulu, where the situation on the bridge was extensively reviewed. The report.
Speaking to journalists shortly after the joint meeting, the Anambra State SSG, Professor Solomon Chukwubulu, said that the two states agreed to move vehicles back from the foot of the Niger Bridge into their respective states. Professor Chukwubulu added that the decision to move vehicles back from the foot of the bridge was to avoid gridlock on the bridge, which he said could compromise its integrity if not adequately checked. According to him, it was also agreed by the two states that any vehicle that falls under the exemption list would be turned back if it had more than 3 persons on board. Professor Chukwubulu disclosed that security personnel would be swapped between Anambra and Delta states to ensure effective implementation of the presidential directive on interstate lockdown, noting that vehicles belonging to construction companies executing road projects would not be turned back by the two states.
The two governments have agreed as follows. One, that the two states will move back the processing points at the foot of the bridge a bit further into their respective zones. So Anambra State will move back more towards further beyond the bridge, and Delta will also try to move further behind the foot of the bridge.
Also speaking the Delta State SSG, Mr. Chiedu, who on behalf of the two state governments apologized to people whose movements may have been affected by the implementation of the presidential directive on interstate lockdown, said the government's efforts were aimed at curtailing the spread of the dreaded coronavirus disease in the two states. Mr. Ebe stated that no effort would be spared in ensuring that there was no stationary traffic on the River Niger Bridge, and reminded commuters that the interstate lockdown order of the federal government was still in force. The SSG commended commissioners of police, other security agencies, and members of the task force in the two states for their relentless efforts aimed at ensuring compliance with the lockdown order of the federal government.
We will work, like he said, to ensure that there's a free flow of traffic on the bridge, and we would also work towards ensuring that we do not have stationary traffic on the bridge as well, so that the integrity of the bridge is not compromised.
In an interview, the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Charles Anyagu, enjoined residents of the two states to observe all protocols put in place by the government to checkmate the spread of COVID-19.
The Delta State Task Force on Environment, led by its chairman, Evangelist Sylvester Oromoni, has commenced the removal of illegal structures used as market under the refinery bridge in Ekpan local government area. Correspondent Daniel Orji reports that the task force also relocated tricycle and bus park at Ekpan Junction on the MP Expressway to ease traffic in the area. The report.
One of the responsibilities of Delta State Task Force on Environment is to ensure that illegal structures are removed along major roads. The refinery bridge market is one of the illegal markets as it poses threats to the lives of the traders and buyers because it is located beside the MPA Ekpan Expressway. The relocation of the market and tricycle and bus park at Ekpan was supervised by the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Special Duties Task Force, Sir Igo Akpojoto, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Environment Task Force, Chief Peter Abugewa, and the Delta Central and South Coordinator of Delta State Task Force on Environment, Mr. Kingsley Iweka. They disclosed that the present location of the market and park had caused accidents, stressing that they do not want anyone to die because of illegality. The task force leaders added that its members would be deployed to enforce compliance.
At the moment, they are cooperating with us. They understand the situation that we need to relocate this for our safety, for a clean environment. We are relocating them. Let the markets be useful. When markets are built, they are meant to be used. So trading along the highway is not the best, and I think they understand.
This is government setting, and we are taking the decision that there should be no market there. That place has caused a lot of death to people. They are accidents. So they have a designated market around this place. We are asking them, all we are saying is that move to that place. This place is not conducive. It's not, it's not giving the place any facelift.
Cleanliness is next to godliness. Delta should, imbibe in that art of stop indiscriminate dumping, ensure the environment is clean, equally ensure that their water drains are always opened. That's our advice to Delta.
Some of the traders and tricycle riders told DRTV News that the idea is a welcome development, but appeal to the state government and the task force to give them time to relocate to the new location.
To look for somewhere for us. Well, it's IT, we cannot challenge government. We cannot challenge government. But when you look at the environment here, out here is a swamp area. We have a pipeline here at the bottom there, like that place there. So you cannot expect somebody to go and be doing a garage work under the pipeline. That is what we are saying.
The thing when we talk about that will help all citizens, transporters and even traders. So our government, they try to see the motorway they ground so they safe.
The task force coordinators immediately constituted a subcommittee that would work with members of the task force on environment to ensure compliance. Daniel Orji reporting.
Illegal structures along Ogbijo and May markets in Warri South local government area were demolished on Thursday morning. The demolition exercise was embarked upon by the Delta State Task Force on Environment in collaboration with authorities of Warri South Local Government Council. Correspondent Dan Orji reports that most of the illegal structures demolished were under high-tension wire. The report.
As early as 8 in the morning, members of Delta State Task Force on Environment, led by its chairman, Evangelist Sylvester Oromoni, and the chairman of Warri South Local Government, Dr. Michael Tidi, were at Ogbijo and May Market to remove all illegal structures disturbing the flow of traffic in the area. Chairman, Delta State Task Force on Environment, Evangelist Oromoni, disclosed that all illegal structures and attachment to the market must be brought down, stressing that the market should be occupied by traders instead of displaying their wares along the road. He added that the task force would not rest until the road is cleared and advised the traders to make use of the market. Evangelist Oromoni revealed that members of the task force will be stationed at the market to ensure compliance.
They will not rest, them too will not rest. My advice to them is to do the right thing. I told them
They should keep everywhere clean, paint the front, let everywhere look neat, and they must not come back with their tax certificate.
Also speaking, the chairman of Warri South Local Government, Dr. Michael Tidi, disclosed that the council has sent notice severally to the traders to move their wares from the roadside, but they have refused to comply. Dr. Tidi enjoined the traders to use the shops inside the market, adding that most of the traders have shops inside the market but prefer to trade outside. Assistant Special Assistant to the Governor on Special Duties, Sir Igor Akpojuto, and the Coordinator of Delta State Task Force, Mr. Kingsley Iweka, who were on ground to monitor the exercise, advised the traders to comply with the directive by not returning to the road. The Ogbojo Market Management Committee, Warri South Task Force Chairman and Chairperson, Comrade Godwin Enega, and Madam Queen Ejemi Tolu commended the Task Force on Environment and Warri South Council Chairman for the demolition exercise, stressing that they will be advising the traders to remove the illegal structures time without number, but to no avail.
Having given them sufficient abatement notice, we decided, upon the expiration of those notices, we decided to come down here. Of course, remove the legal structures so as to ease the flow of traffic.
Giving them abatement notice, they've been asked to leave because we want to ensure that there are no illegal structures.
Some of the traders, while speaking to DRTV News, alleged that they decided to move to the road because the market authority had been extorting them while in the market. Daniel Oji reporting.
Social and economic activities have bounced back to life in Ofoma community, an agrarian town in Ughelli North local government area, following the resurrection of electricity after 4 years. Petty traders, artisans, both the young and old in Ofoma and Adovie are happy that they can sleep at night and use electricity for their businesses and domestic needs. DRTV News correspondent Joyce Nyasiete now reports.
For the past 4 years, life has been dull for the people of Ofoma community following the collapse of the 6 transformers serving the community. The 40 transformers plunged the people into darkness and reduced their socio-economic well-being because electricity supply means a lot to them. But the story is different today as an indigene of the community, Dr. Isaac Akpoveta, had to intervene to repair the 45 transformers and also procure a new transformer to serve the needs of the fast-growing Ofoma community that houses a school of health technology. The people of Ofoma, mostly petty traders, are happy that their once collapsed business will pick up again and thanked Dr. Isaac Akpoveta for his intervention.
Because say we don't get light for 4 years now, we not get light. So this year now they give us light, and now my fridge they go well. My fridge they work well. I know they buy ice block again. Money when I they spend they buy ice block every day 400. But today now I know they buy ice block. Since 3 weeks now I never buy ice block because without they get light now. They sleep well now, no heat, nothing. We they use fan well steady, and they get the light every night. They use and say they sleep. Yes. And we thank God for Dr. Akpoveta when he made the light. They come Ofoma.
God be the glory. About 2 weeks ago, we are now enjoying light.
But for the past 2 days, there was light, but not in the morning. They'll bring it maybe that kind 5. We use it and sleep.
We are very happy because it's up to 4 years now. We have not seen light here in Ofoma.
And there's someone that 10,000 naira to buy diesel and fuel. When the light come, I really appreciate for Akpoveta because it's not easy for somebody to say this is what we must do.
Elders of Ofoma community, including the eldest man, Pa Unuewofe Akpoguma, senior spokesman, Chief Clerk Akpoguma, and the eldest woman were full of prayers for the chairman of the Delta State Health Contributory Commission, Dr. Isaac Akpoveta, who has always come to the rescue of the people. Dr. Akpoveta, who is the coordinator of the state's COVID-19 response team in charge of Delta Central and Delta South, however, said that more of the praises should go to the Chief of Staff to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Olorogun David Edewie, whose efforts led to Ofoma being hooked to the 10 MVA transformer at Otowodo in Ughelli.
I thank BADC, and I thank the government, and I also want to thank the Chief of Staff, Chief Olurugun David Adebia, who made it possible for Ofoma to be hooked on to the Otowodo 10 MVA line, step down.
Dr. Akpoveta, the councillor representing Ughelli Ward 312, Honorable Ishere Onome, and some other indigenous of the community, narrated how the people were in total blackout for 4 years, adding that the restoration of power supply now will definitely change the economy of the rural town.
I'm so gladdened in my heart that my people of Ofoma, my people of Utovie, even Emeraga, can now sleep in the night with the light on, with a fan on. Those who have ACs with ACs on, their fridges can now cool their food and drinks, and especially the artisans in the town, welders, barbers, bar operators. The economy of the town woke up almost immediately.
Before now, the economic life of Ofoma is dead because there was no presence of light. But I can tell you that since the emergence of the light, economically, Ofoma is now lively.
Constant electricity supply will turn the fortunes of local communities around if concerted efforts are made by the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, BEDC, and well-meaning individuals in these communities. Joel Singh, DRTV News.
The Delta State Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa has commiserated with victims of the fire incident that gutted a section of the popularly known Obogonogo market in Asaba Tuesday. Government House Asaba correspondent Miriam Winke reported that the governor, accompanied by some government officials, visited the scene of the fire incident. The report.
Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, who visited the market to inspect the extent of damage by the inferno, assured the victims that the state government would assist them to get back to their businesses. Governor Okowa stated that the cause of the fire incident was being investigated and assured that the Delta State government would liaise with the Oshimili South local government to rebuild the market to modern standard. He described the fire outbreak as an unfortunate incident and commended the official of the Delta State Fire Service for their intervention at curtailing the fire.
It has happened is for us to be able to find a way to provide some level of assistance to those who have been impacted very badly by the reason of the market, the fire this morning. But I'm sure that investigations will still be carried out. But apparently that section of the market has been raised down completely, so it may just not be fully known.
The Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Chiedu Ibe, and the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Charles Aniago, were among top government officials that accompanied the governor to the burnt market.
The Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Delta State, Mr. Peter Mrakpo, has sworn in the executive of the Diwini Delta Cluster Board and the Community Trust of Udimbundi, Ufogbene, Focados and Yeye communities. Correspondent John Glover reports that the inauguration of the exercise of the executive was midwifed by the Commissioner for Oil and Gas, Prince Emmanuel Baduba. The report is presented from our studio.
That I hereby pledge my allegiance, commitment to
This oath by the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Delta State, Mr. Peter Mrakpo, represented by a Director in the Department of People's Rights Ministry of Justice, Mr. Turicheju Megbelugba, signals the beginning of a new executive for the Iduwini Delta Cluster Board and the Community Trust of Udimodi, Fogbene, Focados, and Yeye communities, witnessed by the Commissioner for Oil and Gas, Prince Emmanuel Agbaduba, amongst others. Prince Agbaduba recalled that the inauguration was midwifed by the state government to ensure a peaceful transition. He noted that peace is a necessary tool for development and urged the new executive to work with traditional rulers and multinational companies operating in their communities in order to attract development to their locality. Prince Agbaduba urged the executive to settle their differences amicably and seek assistance of the Ministries of Justice as well as oil and gas in times of difficulties.
Let the atmosphere be peaceful for the oil company working there to do their job, carry out their corporate security responsibilities, pay their taxes, so that government can get more money to develop our state while also developing yourselves. Thank you very much for your presence. I wish you good luck.
Responding, Chairman of Udimodi Community Trust and Iduwene Delta Cluster Board, Mr. Harrison Angeyama, Chairman of Yeye Community Trust, Mr. Goodluck Seitonga, Ofugbene Community Trust, Mr. Yerin Golo, and Fogados Community Trust, Chief Macbeth Tubotu, thanked the state government for midwifing their inauguration and promised to work with the state government in sustaining peace in their communities. They promised to work with multinational companies to fast-track development to their communities.
On behalf of the entire members of the Delta Cluster Board and members of the Community Trust of the Fogados and Yeye Community, our deepest appreciation to God Almighty and the good people of the Kingdom for finding us worthy to be stored with this sacred and noble responsibility of acting as your trustees in respect of the newly signed GMOU memorandum of understanding. We are
putting us together to make peace in our community.
I'm working with SPDC to drive development in my community. Social development of the community.
Zonal Head of Ministry of Justice Warri, Mr. Jonah Otite, witnessed the ceremony. For DRTV News, John Glover reporting.
And with that report, we conclude this week's edition of News This Week. Special thanks to my executive producer, Gift Semodi. I am Ogali Mafro. Thanks for watching.